Paris, a city tour. We start off our tour with the Louvre, which contains some of the most iconic works of Western art. The Louvre is a French national art museum and is one of the most famous museums in the world. It was the #1 most visited museum in 2023, attracting 8.7 million visitors. It is housed in the Louvre Palace, built in the late 12th to 13th century under Philip II, and in 1546, Francis I converted it to the residence of the French kings. And it opened to the public on 10th of August, 1793, hosting 537 paintings. Napoleon, Louis XVIII, and Charles X increased its holdings to 20,000 pieces. Today, the Louvre contains 500,000 objects and displays 35,000 works of art divided into 8 curatorial departments. It has 652,000 square feet dedicated to the permanent collection, and the Louvre exhibits sculptures, objets d'art, paintings, drawings, and archaeological finds. With 35,000 objects on exhibit, it is the largest museum in the world. You can check out my other video of the top 10 of the Louvre, where I go into the highlights of the top 10. The top 10 are The Lace Maker, the most famous things at the Louvre, The Death of Sardana Palace, The Oath of the Harachi, The Wedding Feast at Cana, The Raft of the Medusa, The Coronation of Napoleon, Liberty Leading the People, The Winged Victory of Samothrace, Venus de Milo, and Mona Lisa. Next, we head off to the Arc de Triomphe, which may not look like a lot from the outside, but it is amazing if you go up to the top. The Arc de Triomphe de Étoile sits at the western end of the Champs-Élysées in the center of Place de Charles de Gaulle, formerly named Place de l'Étoile, the Atoll or Star. It is the hub of a 12 avenue spokes that radiate from it. The plaza straddles 3 arrondissements, the 16th, 17th, and 8th. The Arc de Triomphe honors those who fought in the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars with the names of French victories and generals inscribed on its surfaces. Beneath its vault lies the tomb of the unknown soldier from World War I. Here you can see spectacular views of the Eiffel Tower. Here at sunset, where we watch the sunset, the Eiffel Tower slowly lights up and you have beautiful views of it. Here you can see where it's at the center of a hub and spoke, an aerial view of the Arc de Triomphe. The Arc sits at the head of the Axe Historique, or historic axis, which is a sequence of monuments and thoroughfares. The Arc de Triomphe was designed by Jean-Charles Grün in 1806. It set the stage for other public monuments with patriotic messages. It has a height of 164 feet, or 50 meters, a width of 148 feet, or 45 meters, and a depth of 72 feet, or 22 meters. The Arc de Triomphe is the tallest triumphal arch until the completion of the Monumento La Revolución in Mexico City in 1938, which rises to 220 feet. The Arc of Triumph in Pyongyang, completed in 1982, sits at 197 feet, and the Grand Arc de la Défense near Paris is 361 feet, or 110 meters, making it the tallest of its kind in the world. Here you can see spectacular views again of the Eiffel Tower from the top of the Arc de Triomphe, which I highly recommend. Next, a bit about the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is located at Champ de Mars, and it's a wrought iron lattice tower named after engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose company designed and built the tower from 1887 to 1889. It was the centerpiece of the 1889 World's Fair and was initially criticized, but has become a global cultural icon of France and one of the most recognizable structures in the world. It got 5,889,000 visitors in 2022, and it's the most visited monument with an entrance fee in the world. In 1964, it was named part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The tower is 1,083 feet tall, or 330 meters tall, the height of an 81-story building, and the tallest structure in Paris. Its square base is 410 feet, or 125 meters on a side. The Eiffel Tower was the tallest human-made structure in the world, a title it held for 41 years until 1930, when the Chrysler Building in New York City was finished. It was the first structure in the world to surpass both the 650 feet mark, 200 meters, and 984 feet, or 300-meter mark in height. With a broadcasting aerial added in 1957, it is now taller than the Chrysler Building by 17 feet. The tower has 3 levels for visitors and restaurants on the first and second levels. The top level's upper platform is 960 feet above the ground. Tickets can be purchased to ascend the stairs or lift to the first and second levels. On the top 3rd level, there's a private apartment that was built for Gustave Eiffel's personal use. The tower again gradually lights up at sunset and sparkles every hour. Next, we head to Notre Dame. Notre Dame de Paris, in French meaning the Cathedral of Our Lady of Paris, is a medieval Catholic church on Ile de Cité, a river Seine island. 12 million people visit Notre Dame annually, and it's one of the most visited monuments in Paris. The cathedral, dedicated to the Virgin Mary, Our Lady, is an example of French Gothic architecture. The pioneering use of the rib vault and flying buttresses set it apart from earlier Romanesque-style buildings. Its colorful rose windows and sculptural decoration were novel. Notre Dame has 3 pipe organs and large church bells. Construction began in 1163 under Bishop Maurice de Sully and was completed in 1260. In the 1790s, during the French Revolution, Notre Dame suffered desecration, its religious imagery damaged or destroyed. In the 19th century, it hosted the coronation of Napoleon. Victor Hugo's 1831 novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, led to its restoration between 1844 and 1864. Supervised by Eugène Viollet-le-Duc, on August 26, 1944, the liberation of Paris from German occupation was celebrated in Notre Dame with the signing of the Magnificat. Restoration projects in 1963 and 2000 cleaned it of soot and grime. A fire in April 2019 caused serious damage, closing the cathedral for repairs. It reopened in December of 2024. It has become a symbol of Paris and France. In 1805, it was awarded the status as a minor basilica. Notre Dame contains the cathedral or seat of the Archbishop of Paris. Notre Dame has been stripped of many decorations and artwork, but still contains Gothic, Baroque, and 19th century sculptures and important Christian relics, including the crown of thorns and a nail from the true cross. Next, the Champs-Élysées, the Avenue des Champs-Élysées, is an avenue in the 8th arrondissement of Paris, and the name is French for Elysian Fields, the place of the dead heroes in Greek mythology. It is 1.2 miles or 1.9 kilometers long and 230 feet or 70 meters wide, running between the Place de la Concorde in the east and the Place de Charles de Gaulle in the west, where the Arc de Triomphe is located. It is known for its theaters, cafes, luxury shops, and has been described as one of the most beautiful avenues in the world. We head to the Palace of Versailles next. The Palace of Versailles is a formal royal residence of King Louis XIV, located in Versailles, 11 miles or 18 kilometers west of Paris in the Yvelines department of Ile-de-France region. The palace is owned by the government of France, and since 1995 has been managed by the public establishment of the Palace, Museum, and National Estate of Versailles. 15 million people visit it annually, making it one of the most popular tourist attractions in the world. Louis XIII built a hunting lodge at Versailles in 1623. Louis XIV, the Sun King, expanded the chateau into a palace that went through expansions from 1661 to 1715. In 1682, Louis XIV moved the seat of his court and government to Versailles, making the palace the de facto capital of France. Kings Louis XV and XVI made interior alterations to the palace, and in 1789, the royal family and French court returned to Paris. During the French Revolution, the Palace of Versailles was abandoned and emptied. After coronation as emperor, Napoleon used the subsidiary Palace Grand Trianon as a residence from 1810 to 1814, but did not use the main palace, and after Bourbon restoration, he resided in Paris. In the 1830s, repairs were made to the palace, and the palace and park were designated a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1979, and it's important as the center of power, art, and science in France during the 17th and 18th centuries. Next, the Moulin Rouge, or in French meaning Red Mill, is a cabaret in Paris. In 1889, Charles Zidler and Joseph Euler co-founded it. Fire destroyed the original venue in 1915, and it was rebuilt in 1925. Moulin Rouge has a landmark red windmill on its roof and is best known as the birthplace of the can-can dance. Originally introduced as a seductive dance by the courtesans, the can-can dance review evolved into a form of entertainment in its own right that led to cabarets across Europe. Today, the Moulin Rouge is a tourist attraction offering musical dance entertainment. There are 26,000 restaurants in Paris, according to the Paris Convention and Visitors Bureau, of all kinds, from casual eateries to high-end establishments. There are about 50 famous or notable restaurants and cafes in Paris. We tried a variety of cuisines and restaurants, And most Paris restaurants are cramped and packed, probably due to the expense of running a restaurant in the heart of Paris. People do smoke, but most charming restaurants will make you feel like you're eating in your own dining room, a lively atmosphere with a menu of homemade dishes. I stayed in the Novotel, just a 15-minute walk to the Eiffel Tower, and this is my view from the window. You can see the Eiffel Tower peeking above the other buildings. The Eiffel Tower is visible from nearly anywhere in the city. I used planes, trains, buses, and cars in Paris. The RER subway and bus system was clean, convenient, timely, and easy to use. You can get a Navigo pass for €2. A trip on the subway is €2.50, and a day pass, hop on and hop off as much as you want, is €12. The sprawling network of the subway has tendrils throughout the city. As for buses, I'm often wary of using buses, but Paris buses have digital signs which can tell you where they're going and make them really easy to use. Don't be afraid to use the buses. They're convenient and take you to places that the subway can't necessarily get to easily, and it was the best way to get to the Arc de Triomphe. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and someday if you head out to Paris, be sure to check out some of these sites. They're amazing to see, and Paris is a wonderful city to visit. Check out some of my other videos, such as the top 10 in the Louvre. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.